now officially live for Composer Dome Episode 5.
Episode 5. Welcome everyone. How are you, sir?
Outstanding, cannot complain, and yourself?
Excellent. Ready to get to it. Let's talk music.
Indeed. Okay, so this week I worked on a little track, and we can go over this track here. Let me
Definitely.
share my screen. Of course, I don't have the track up, but opening now. Basically, man, I was looking at different other drum things on Native Instruments, different than what we already own. I'm like, do they have better drums or like different drums? Am I missing something? And so I started looking in, and they do have a lot of different drums. And then I started realizing, like, man, I gotta use those kits that we have that we never use. Let Oh yeah, if this ever happens to you, like you try to open a project and like the window's not appearing, you just go to window and open main window and everything will pop up.
Huh, that's unintuitive.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes it happens. I don't know why. Okay, so we have this thing is all right. So I was playing with Playbox, and Playbox, if you get into it, I customized these chords here so that you know let's solve this. So uh it started off whatever it was, and then I just changed each one of these to match just a key played on the MIDI controller. And then so it's basically just three chords, and then uh these drums here, just the standard Logic drums with some OTT touched on top. Let's see here. Ashlight, of course. So the ashlight in this is the thing I would say to keep an ear out for, because it's one of those things where it's a noise that if not present, uh it's just it's kind of bland, but when it's there in the background of the mix, it sounds more full, but on its own it really doesn't sound that good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I think we lost you there for a minute.
Wow, yeah, something is going on because I lost you and your camera froze and then it booted me out of the meeting, but there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with my internet connection, so that's really strange.
Hmm.
Okay, everything
I think
seems
we're
fine
I
now.
think I think
Sorry.
we're I
Yeah,
think we're
sorry
good
about
now.
that. Can
All
you
good.
play audio? Let me see if I can make sure I can hear it.
Yep, yep.
Cool.
Okay. Uh, so the last thing I was talking about was like a sound that basically doesn't sound the best on its own,
Hmm.
but in the mix, it kind of, fills everything out really well. Uh, Without it, it kind of sounds a little flat. So anyway, I'll play I guess till here because it's kind of a long track. I'll just get the each chorus part or whatever. So
Man,
it's
sounds great.
it's loud. It feels loud, but it's only negative 16, which is an interesting thing too.
That
A-
is.
and so the you asked the other day what inspired the vocals. So the only thing that inspired the vocals were the only vocals really that I have that can match any type of electronica stuff or
Hmm.
um I I didn't even know what the genre was before you said electronica. In my head I imagined it to be some type of electronic music, of course, but uh kind of uh kind of house-ish, but kind
Yeah,
of 80s-ish, but also modern-ish.
because of that bass arpeggio, that's got kind of an 80s vibe to it almost. But
And
yeah, it's more house. I agree.
these things,
Yeah, and that's an 80s
it's like
sounding loop.
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson right there or something,
Yeah.
man.
No, no, you're right. That's definitely true.
Um, let's see here. Then the last thing,
Or heck, it's called modern 80s, right?
exactly, that's
Yeah.
the drummer for Logic. Uh, yeah, okay, so let's pull up the. Okay, so this is the mastering right here. This is what it's doing for. I basically didn't touch anything. I think I brought the loudness down a little bit, I believe, or up a little bit. I forget what it was, but that's the only thing I touched. But before this, before this, what I mean, I'm gonna have to turn it way down or something. But check this out. I'm gonna just take off the mastering
Okay.
and let's take the master output. I'm gonna turn this way down. Still turn it down. Let's go right here. So, do you see where this slider is right now?
Wow.
Where, yeah. And hear this mix?
Yeah, but you see those channels, especially 4 and 5, are like really pumping.
So, this is one thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe in meters in channel strips anymore. I don't think they do
Well,
anything with loudness or
well,
like
press X.
yep,
Can we
X.
see? There you go. And okay, so you've got some of those channels above 0. They're in the positive range. So
True, but if you take one of these instruments and then another instrument, right? And you put
hold
and you
up though. You've also got audio effects like overdrive on a number of that's going to pump the volume
sure, sure.
in addition to
And OTT
um
will pump it like crazy.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what's going on, right?
So the thing is though, say you have one VST from Orchestral Tools, right?
Hmm.
And on the maximum volume output that VST can achieve, you put that slider all the way up, put the velocity to 127, you hit the note, your highest sounding note,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you throw a Insight 2 on there and you try to analyze what's going on.
Hmm.
Then you take a massive patch, you don't touch the volume, you hit a note,
It's gonna be a
and
lot
then
louder.
it's going to be 10 times louder, right?
Yeah, because it wasn't recorded.
And so if you take that slider and you blast it to the top for the Orchestral Tools one,
Uh-huh.
and then you turn down the massive one, it's still going to be louder than the Orchestral Tools.
Sure.
That's why I truly think that the meters on things don't necessarily, I mean, the levels of the actual slider,
Right.
uh, technically, I mean, you could just put them all down halfway or put them all the way max, put them exactly at 0, and then do everything else around it to make it just zeroed out. But I mean, I don't know the best practice for that, to be honest.
Yeah, some I think some people do start
Just
with
super low.
sliders at the bottom and increase volume until they get the sweet spot. So I don't think that's not a crazy workflow. That's not how I usually do it. But like to your
Yeah.
point, if I have something that's not a sampled instrument, like a synth or drum set or whatever, like before I even start working, I'm gonna drop the slider because I know it's gonna be so much louder than all of my other organic instruments. So yeah, I think, and then like you can gain stage at the end to
But
raise the volume kind of
yeah,
organically. But
once all the sliders are already mixed and in place, then gain stage or up and
yeah,
down.
and they're going to be relative, of course, to one another. And there you are going to notice a big difference between the synth-based ones and the sampled instruments. The sampled instruments are always going to be quieter because you're constrained by the volume of the recording, right?
So that's an interesting topic right there. I don't know if that it depend. I believe it wholeheartedly depends on what effects are on that
Oh
on
yeah,
that
I'm not even.
audio.
I wasn't even like any audio effects that's on that channel. I think that's a whole other conversation. But like just if you have a blank slate and you just have the instruments going in, like your sampled instruments are going to be quieter than your synth instruments. I
But
think. I mean, there might be
I think
some
there's cases where
exceptions.
I think it can go both ways. To be honest,
Yeah, but
for
like as a
instance, like Jaeger, is a sampled library from Audio Imperia, and they're sampled. What is it? The something
well,
strings.
audio Imperial is sampled loud though compared to orchestral tools. And
Sure, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what
So
I mean. Like there's some samples that are recorded like that are incredibly loud versus some like throw out your loud put the audio output to the loudest analog strings can go, for instance, from native instruments.
I think in general, like a general rule though, like a rule of thumb, you can say, oh, it's a synth if you have a synth mixed in with a bunch of sample instruments. Like
It's
before
probably
you
gonna be
start
louder.
before you
Yeah,
start noodling
I
on that
agree.
synth for the sake of your ears, you might want to cut the
I
volume. And
agree
that's
a
like what I
thousand
do
percent.
personally. But yeah, and I've heard people criticize Audio Imperia for sampling so loud because you lose some dynamism. Um, because it's
Yeah,
just like it's so freaking loud that there isn't a lot of there isn't a lot of like room for expression
yeah,
because
because
even when the expression's on zero, it's still really
it's
loud.
still
Yeah,
well, it's not just it's actually really low, but it still sounds like it's screaming, but just
exactly.
really low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. That makes
forte
sense.
is really like it's an F whatever, like a high forte, whatever. I forget what it's called, but um
Forte, port, yeah, yeah, forte, and then molto forte. I think that's
yeah, for the crazy one or but yeah, so I don't know what to I mean this I guess this is just a mess around track, really, just having fun.
it's a
Um
good man. It's got some great moments though, and it's got a really sweet overall um soundstage to
it,
me.
importantly though, the exhale from output is the VST for the vocals, and I wish there were other means to get vocals into these tracks, into a track like this, because or into a track like anything, like having more vocal stuff would be just amazing. I don't I hate to always reach for exhale the same VST that I've been using for like 6 years for whenever I need to have a modern vocal type of clip up or chop up. I suppose I could just not be lazy and manually do it with like splice and do
Yeah.
but I'd rather have it just compact in a virtual instrument like this and
Yeah,
just doesn't exist. It's crazy.
I guess my issue with it is if you get a good vocal sample, like you hear the same vocal samples overused in electronic music all the time, and I don't want to get into that game, you know. So that's the problem.
So these technically these samples that you're hearing are completely customized. So
Yeah,
it,
randomization and
it's
stuff
not
like
like
that.
right off the patch that's what you hear.
Yeah.
But technically somebody else can just move a couple knobs and have that same exact sound too.
And
So that's where I just don't like it,
and it's going to be like
I'm
mallet flux or something where if you've heard the
oh
instrument a lot, you're going to be able to
dude,
pick it out, you know.
I hear dude, I hear this instrument all the time in commercial music,
Yeah.
like UFC promo or something. I hear in the
Yeah.
background. I'm like, what is that? That's just naming VSTs. Uh,
Yeah. That kind of sucks, man. That it would be cool. I guess if I were making this kind of music, which I usually don't, but if I were, I would probably do like arpeggiation maybe on Farlight. Like I'd try something like that, like one of the patches that kind of sounds like a voice
it,
and try to make something custom.
yep, yep. That's probably the smartest way to do it, and most original, true to sticking with the track.
Yeah, I
But
should try it, man. That sounds like fun actually. To because some of the Farlight patches do sound pretty cool.
I haven't really messed with it too much. I mess with
Mm.
Stray Light.
For stuff like this,
I don't
Farlight
even think I have Farlight installed, to be honest.
for stuff like this, Farlight would be really good. It's very poor for orchestral or even soundtrack use in my view because it's very techy sounding. But for electronica, I think Farlight would be excellent.
It's called Farlight. Yeah, I don't even think I have it.
I think it's PH,
Oh,
maybe.
oh
There it
man.
is.
Yeah, I never use this thing.
There's some good content in there though. Yeah, I mean it's all kind of vocalization heavy, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you just arpeggiate that and play some simple notes or something, that would you could make a stab like a kind of hook like that, you know?
All you need is I'll save this real quick as 154 and best naming scheme on the planet right there.
The remix.
All right, here's the remix.
It might be loud.
Oh shit, I forgot. Yeah. Oh, the hell? It's still. Oh, this is still playing this one. Mute that guy.
Oh wow, it's really quiet. Partly it's really low.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's could go up an octave.
Oh, can I show you something actually? Undo that.
Sure.
If you right click on those selected notes,
Yep.
like there, you can bump it up a octave. See a transpose region 12 semitone? That'll kick it up an octave.
Transpose.
Right there. Oh, right there. Yep, that one.
This one right here.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't know what's faster. If we had, if we were in the 10-minute thing, I guess. I guess. Wait, if
I
you
I
is
do it that
there?
way. I do it that way because there's no chance of me getting the wrong key or anything. Like it just
Oh,
does it
so you can do uh
up or down, actually.
op, and also the shortcut is right there too.
Yeah.
So I guess you could not even have to. You just control A and then do the shortcut. You
Yeah.
don't have to right click anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I've always it's crazy. Yeah, always moved it around by
Oh,
hand.
and when you move it, you could get off the bar too, which that
Non-logic,
protects
baby.
against.
Non-logic. No, no, really, because we set it up as so for the template at least. Default, you're absolutely right. You can do it, but up here, if you have it set to absolute value, you can't you can't
Yeah,
ever
but
go off.
so very often, like when I'm doing symphonic stuff, I actually want it to be off the bar, and so I want it like the instrument starts before the bar, so that it like it eases in or something. So if in a situation like that,
Oh,
that
if the track starts before the measure, right? If that's what you mean. Like if you do
no, I
one of
mean like sometimes like in the project that I'm working on right now, I have a couple of instruments that the MIDI notes start before the bar, and that's like the way it sounds best. And so things don't necessarily start directly on the bar, I guess is what I'm getting at. Um,
so so if you record it and it's not like it won't I'm not saying it's going to snap to the bar when you're recording it, but it's just when you're moving around the notes.
Yeah, but if I moved around the note and it snapped to the bar, that would be a mistake because that's not what I want,
Oh, so
you
you
know.
want to move around the notes, but just a little bit offset from what you originally recorded, right?
Well, offset as I originally recorded it. Because like when if you record the MIDI and it's offset slightly, but it sounds good, I don't want it to then snap because then it would be adjusting the recording, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll actually show I'll
Yeah,
show you
yeah,
when we review my track because I
let's
noticed
jump
it
right into
earlier.
it, man. Let's jump right into it.
Oh, I wanted to hear it Farlight, man, but all right, we'll check it
Oh,
later.
my bad. The Farlight, yeah, I mean, I think a different chord progression too, just not following the same arpeggiating. That thing that's gonna sound kind of dumb.
Hmm.
I just wanted to
Well,
see what it's sound
I
like.
think like kind of like a simpler, kind of like what Exhale was doing, like a simple one note line with a pitch bend or something might sound cool. I mean, I don't know, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's gotta have a lot of stuff on it because excels at Exhale. Uh, yeah, man, they really have a lot of things that you can twist
Processing
around
kind of
and
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, add right at the end and sequence at the end so it stutters or uh,
cool.
hell yeah.
Uh,
I wish more
that's
instruments were like that, man, though. But play
it
CD,
sounds it
oh,
sounds really, really good. I will say that.
even though it's
Um,
mixed very strangely.
yeah, so what was I looking at? There's definitely some yeah, like this this track is I was noticing earlier, like stuff is just not I mean to me it sounds good, but stuff is just not lining up because it a lot of it was recorded, like played by hand, but just stuff like this. But this is a swell in instrument, and so I don't know, it just sounds good like this. And yeah. Anyway, like I use a lot of orchestral instruments and very often like you don't actually want it starting on the beginning of the bar like you normally would. At least it just doesn't sound right timing wise.
Indeed.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like this is a really crazy example. This even stood out to me, but it sounds good. So,
Yep. That's and the thing that the only thing when I see this is it doesn't sound weird that the first note doesn't come in early too.
right. Well, I think I did this because and this is like a quirk of the sampling usually where this note in particular just didn't lead well into this note. You know, is that old
It
problem.
what sample is it?
Orchestral tools.
Is it a legato sample?
That's a good
Because
question.
if it is, there's a trick to making that happen that I'm
Uh,
not
is it legato? I don't know. Legato, yeah.
Okay, so take that second note and just increase the velocity, uh, and it'll transition with legato properly. It'll actually let it
Ah,
trigger. I believe it's
okay.
increase the velocity, but it might be reduce the velocity. It's one or the other, and it
Okay.
will
So play
drastically change that. Yeah.
modify the velocity, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll actually trigger the true legato effect. Without it, it'll just be a sustained normal.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I don't know why they don't have that like as a disclaimer or more widely known because it's kind of impossible to use. Sometimes you hit it randomly when you're playing around on the MIDI keyboard,
Yeah.
you can get it, but
Right.
to have it, write it out in the DAW, it's like how the hell?
Yeah, you're right. Because yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a really good point. When you're playing the legato and you're playing it by hands on the keyboard, you can get a feel for what sounds
Yeah,
good. Whereas if you're writing music, and just dropping the MIDI notes by hand, you don't get a good sense of the performance at all, you know. Um,
precisely.
cool. So, do you want to explain the impetus for this project or like what this was for?
So, I mean, essentially this really is or I mean, I haven't heard this yet.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be a mix between a kind of a Harry Potter vibe, but the game Citadel Forge with Fire has a background music that is really soft and just almost wispy and non-existent, but really still there, not there. It's an interesting vibe to it, and it's really hard to capture. And and this would be for a environment in Unreal Engine 5 that I'm working on.
Got
Uh, so yeah, man, I am ready to give it a listen.
Yeah,
Unless
what
you
I was what I was thinking was fantasy music, but very relaxing. So that was like my overall, and I wanted to get a glockenspiel in there because we talked about that
yes,
kind of
yes.
element. So
Any
yeah,
key that you chose, or so you? I see it's 80 BPM, and
yeah, 80, and it is in the key of A, key
okay,
of A,
all right,
Dorian, I believe, in the Dorian mode. But all right, without further ado, can you hear that?
yes, sir.
Excellent.
All right, lots to discuss here, man.
Okay, good. Or
As a
maybe.
as a composition, excellent. This thing's great as it is. Like just whatever it is used for. Just saying, this is a cool ass piece. I really enjoy this. The
Thanks.
it's hard to. It's really hard, and I mean, I. It's funny, man. There's parts of the track where like I can just see you going, oh, so shit. Oh, I gotta, oh man, like parts of the track where it's extra hard to come back to itself. Like for instance, this has a really good um way of building up to something not so much to leave you with nothing, but enough to kind of melt to the next part, which
Yeah.
which is great that the Glock came in and kind of spiced its little thing up for that extra silence almost
Hmm.
for the composition wise, that's what I'm hearing. uh uh and yeah, the chords chosen and the melodies that go with it, killer. uh Interestingly enough, okay, so if I'm right away laser focused in on production,
Hmm.
I think we could Coco Chanel the boom.
What?
And and
I love the boom, man.
and so the boom is in, the boom is the boom, right? um and the other thing I was thinking was one of the MIDI is phenomenal. Like this is like really well, like it's
I showed you the janky MIDI though.
what's that? Oh
I
no,
should
but yeah, exactly. But it is what it is because you have delayed,
Yeah,
you
it
have
just
sample delay.
works, you know. It's weird, but it works. Yeah.
Well, Orchestral Tools has that millisecond delay,
Yeah.
when a sample starts, and
Yeah.
so
But man, orchestral tools is awesome. Man, it's incredible. Like there's no
Yeah.
reason to buy anything else.
I will say though, the can we just solo the low strings and the high strings?
Yes. I also noticed this morning when I was doing another mixing session, I boosted the brass and I boosted it too much. I thought it was too loud, but anyway, we can talk about that. All right.
Okay. So that and I'm just going to be samurai here, man.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
The Japanese style of doing business. The philosophy kind of lies around just being as honest and front and just really exactly what's on your mind. Because
Sure.
without that, progress is stunted, and that's 100%. That's just what it is. So
I agree.
the low strings, the first note, uh, in the essence of everything, is far too harsh of a sampled sound. It's far too nasally, far too
Hmm.
harsh. So a super soft sampled low or sorry, high strings, I think it is right down there, a very soft strings, or perhaps the modulation down to 20 during that part, but the volume up, could just completely shift this track to the next level.
Okay,
Potentially.
let's I added this quote unquote bass later, and this bass is a similar approach to what we've done before in the past, which is augmented strings way down on the low register gives this nice floor of orchestral bass, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we get something like the reason I bring that up,
Yep.
we could just boost the volume on this next to the low strings, and that might give a better
So
sound.
it's the timbre of the high strings that the
The
issue is.
high, not the low. I
The high,
misunderstood you.
the high, yes, the high. Sorry,
Ah, okay. Cool. All right, we can fix that. Let's save that. All right, let's open.
just the absolute softest string sample that is in
All
your
right.
arsenal.
So this is high legato, so I think maybe flautando.
Um,
And actually, I don't think we need legato because it's just doing these really simple notes. So I think we need to go to Inspire 2 for that. Yeah, flautando. That's the legato. It's so awesome that I can't read this so that I don't know what it is.
gotta click on each one and give it a listen.
One of
I,
them is
I, I,
sustained soft, I
I see
think.
this. I see the two sustain. So this is
Okay,
sustain.
that's soft, I think.
What's the one below it? This is better. I
Yeah,
think
all right, let's
this
try
is
that.
this is better.
Well, that's
And
soft. Yeah.
and if this doesn't work, to be honest, even a swell patch, your best swell patch, that's not too swelly, but there's some orchestral tool stuff that does that really well.
Okay, let's mute Laboom. All right.
Okay.
That is on a
It,
way
it,
higher register. I don't know. That's crazy. That needs to come down like 2 octaves.
yeah, it's really shrieky.
That's weird. Just changing the sample. I didn't expect that.
Well, it's on C4. So or it's
That
a
might sound good. Yeah, I know, but the other
F4.
one was a high string sample as well from the same producer, so it's weird that that would be so much higher, you know?
This to me
Ooh, that sounds
sounds way
nice.
better. It sounds
Yeah,
way better.
love it.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. Honestly, and take take that chroma verb and throw it in the trash.
Oh God,
Throw
you
it
want me
in
to
the
put you want me to put
trash.
replica on it, don't you?
Put put a or just change the from chamber to something else. I don't think chamber fits this very well personally. Something that probably does the exact opposite of what it's doing now.
Hall,
If you just click chamber itself, I think the
airy.
yeah, try airy. I think it might be bloomy, but there's one that sounds really good for strings. That's not bad. I think that's better than the last one, but it's yeah, that gives a little bit of oomph. I maybe reduce the volume a little bit and keep that one. Uh yeah, man, it feels really good now. Can you try with the boom now though? Now that it's tamed a little bit?
Wow. Well, first of all, man, very good, very experienced ear to pick that out because that does sound a lot better. So
Hell yeah, thank you, sir. It sounds real like uh whatever this patch is.
oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Can we look at the bass real quick?
Of course.
Sounds amazing. 1 to 13 and 22 on, but from yeah, from that little part, it just needs to be louder. A lot. I think it needs to be more present somehow, just
Like
during
the
that.
whole track.
So no. It actually sounds great from everywhere else, but from where you are on the cursor or on the thing now, all the way to 22, I think it needs to increase the volume, or maybe the velocity of the notes are a lot
Yeah,
less or something.
yeah, it was played a lot of it was played by hand again. So I think especially for the bass patch, setting it at a single velocity makes sense. Would you agree?
I no, I would not. I do like the velocity changes. I just think the overall thing for this segment could increase in volume. Even easy volume automation or something we could do,
I
but
don't I'm always reluctant to do that. If
okay,
there's a way to
okay,
avoid doing that, I will because I
cool,
just think
cool.
that complicates things like crazy personally. But
I'm
actually
a volume automation junkie, man.
I guess we should be scientific about this. Increased velocity 10, something like that.
um, yeah,
You mean the
I'm not
bass
sure that
specifically, right?
specifically the bass, indeed, the actual volume, the
Let's try 102.
presence in the mix.
And then is there a way to increase this by 10? I think there is. I swear I've done this before. Sorry, everybody. I'm new to Logic. I thought it was in a function.
Wait, which thing you trying to do?
I'm just trying to increase the velocity of these notes by 10, say.
Oh, by typing it in.
Just anything. I
Oh,
don't know if
there's
there's
a
a
slider right there.
tool,
Yeah, yeah, there's a slider right there. Just slide that up by 10.
and that will increase each by 10 relative to its own
If
velocity.
whatever notes you have selected, it'll it'll, reduce by whatever they are currently
Okay,
above or below.
cool.
Can we do that same thing on the low strings? Something
Yeah,
similar? They're just a little bit higher velocity on that one segment.
let's you mean from like this point to the end of
Yep.
the track?
No, just from that point to 22.
Okay.
Or it might be 26, but I think it's 22.
Yeah. Uh,
I think this is gonna be an awkward one, and maybe you're like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But
we'll
but
see.
I would put a VC2A on the horns, and I would actually kind of go a little bit above where you would ever go. I would like crank that fucking thing so that you can that so that meter is just doing
You
work,
you want to
doing
smash
work.
you want to smash the sound of the brass?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I want
Why
to
why
I
why?
want to
It's just
smash the
because
sound.
it's out of control. Like,
Mm, because it is the part of the track that is too dynamic for everything else.
yeah, I agree. Like I said, I boosted the volume, but a little bit too much. But if I drop the volume, they don't stand out. So I think it's a good move. I'm cool with it.
Let's see what happens here.
And then I love the 2A. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah.
Look at that beauty.
I love this thing now for the high end of electric stuff. I actually, it does its magic. But I love taking the peak reduction and pushing it to the limit. Uh so I don't know how crazy you go with it, but,
Let's go 50. I tend not to go crazy because I think that a really smashed sound very often doesn't sound good, but it depends on the context.
and the mix, yep.
With orchestral, with orchestral or organic sounding instruments in particular, you don't want to do that because that removes all the like resonance and transient sounds from the instrument. And it makes it sound weird,
but it's
plastic.
but it's also in a mix, and you have other instruments that are very dynamic, so it doesn't get lost in translate. Is it, you really have to hear everything at once to make that final call, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. My general rule though is to have a lighter touch with compressors than
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
rather than too much, I think. But yeah, like that's crazy. So that's way too much. Did you see that?
yeah, I didn't even get to hear. Let's hear the whole segment. Way too much.
So that's like an insane amount of compression.
And
I
it,
would,
but that's a great example of. Did you hear how much better that just mixed though with everything else? Technically, not musically, not musically. I'm just saying,
yeah,
technically, it
yeah,
makes far superior sound, but not musically. So you do lose that that magic.
You're,
However,
yeah, you lose the. So that's actually an interesting topic. You lose the character of the instrument itself,
yep,
but there's a reason that the final mix down has a compressor that glues everything, that glues the final mix together. Because it does sound good mix wise, but yeah, you lose the character of the individual instrument in doing something like that. So maybe we could hit a sweet spot where we're compressing, but we're not destroying the
sure,
character.
yeah.
And that's usually what I'm going for. Look at that again.
Too much beef, right? It's
Solo then.
so the thing is
That
about
sounds good.
so the third chord sounds amazing. The first two are the ones that are the problem mix points. Those first two chords are is what is sounding out of mix. But you know,
I
it's
think we I think it's a velocity problem then.
maybe those first two. Can you kill those first two notes a little bit? Like,
Right. If we just drop the velocity.
but the only problem notes are those first. The colored, the darker orange ones at the
These
top.
two?
Yeah, the top ones are the problem ones.
Gotcha. So we want to be around the 80s. So let's take that down. That. Maybe that'll be.
That might fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll be. I mean, I still think the VC2A is a good idea, but maybe not that much smashing. Let's try that.
It's better. It's better. Yeah, one more time. Yeah. Can you try that velocity on that first note just like 20 below? I just want to see what it does.
Yeah, that is kind of a harsh sound.
Yeah, it's a swell horn, so once it gets to that higher amplitude, it sounds.
Yeah.
It has a nasty
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, that's much
That sounds
better.
better.
Much better, much better.
Good. I mean, is that
Yeah, I just
sufficient?
copy and paste that shit. Honestly, personally, I would go lower on velocity. I would go about 40. Yeah, yeah. I think we're chilling there. Much better,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I agree, man. Good
So
call.
it's calming. It's instead of like harsh kind of like action-y type of thing, it's just calm. Like
Yeah, I think the reason that I made that so strong was it is kind of a strong moment, that chord drop. And but I think it sounds better. I definitely think it sounds better. I think that was a mistake to do that. And it is kind of harsh
you wanted
sounding
to
though.
accentuate that feeling
Exactly.
of epicness. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so those are both set to 40 now. And the level of compression I'm pretty happy with.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is kind of calming it down a little bit when it swells hard. Sweet.
Hell yeah. The
So
Glock, the
boom keeps or
I would just one quick thing. I would also VC2A that Glock. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I figured
But
there might be a little bit of EQ stuff to do as well.
it did sound. It sounds a little loud. It overall, I think probably reduce that volume like a full 1.5 dB. To
Yeah,
be
there we
honest.
go. All right, and then we'll put some.
Ah, much more tame. That's yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, a little bit lower on the volume, tiny bit. No, I'm being nitpicky, but
No, no, no. Nitpick away. Let's listen to that again. Man, that takes some compression. Look at that.
yeah, it's doing his damn job. Or it's trying.
There you go.
The reverb sounds really good with the Glock though. Whatever
Good.
preset this.
Chroma something. I feel like that brass at 26 hit a little hard. What'd you think?
I wasn't really paying attention to the brass. I
It's
was
interesting
listening to those booms.
because I'm gonna drop the velocity on those a little bit. Let's try that.
That last note over there looks pretty intense. The that
This,
A, those two A's, is
yeah,
pretty ferocious.
there you go.
Ah, yes.
Cool. All right.
So final consensus on the overall feeling of the track. So I think two things. One, for background, I think from 26 on, you'd have to chop out completely, destroy it, and then loop everything from 1 to like 26. Or as it stands, it has a great ending as it on its own, right?
Mhm.
It does have a finalized feel to it, like a completion.
Yeah,
Um,
that was
where
added later. I think
so
originally it
yeah,
just went to the Glock part and then it looped fairly cleanly.
that's either it's for the level, that's what would be needed 100%. Because if you have an ending within a background music, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because it
Yeah.
can't have a beginning or an end. That's the hardest part about. So that Citadel Forge with Fire YouTube example, horrendous audio quality, by the way, but got the general gist of what I was saying. See how how it almost like flowed in and out to where sometimes there was no music at all. There was actually nothing happening. It was actually dead silent.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to do. So I think at least having no ending and just kind of like looping this on a lower thing, having it play in the background is probably the best way to incorporate it into that world.
Okay. Yeah, I think well with Logic, can you open up previous versions of a track or could I revert back or did I
Um. Oh, did you have another version saved?
No, I've been working with the same one, but like I've saved obviously, but like
Yeah, I've never
Cubase
really tried
creates backups of,
try
you know.
going file revert to. I I don't even think I've ever used this,
Ooh,
but here we go.
whoa.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that would lose all of the changes we just made.
You
So I
could
think it'll,
just couldn't you just save this as a different file name and then
yeah, I guess I could save this as a different file name and then copy the MIDI from.
but here's another thing though, man. As this stands alone, this is a great track for just a start and a finish too, though. You know, it's like it's almost like
Yeah, but we have less and less need for this kind of music that has a start and a finish. I mean, we
but
basically all the music we need is
okay,
looping, you know,
so the
like
I will have to say though, okay, so the file consensus, the MIDI and the vibe of the track, the actual vibe of the track, 100% nailed it, killed it. The only issue is the beginning and the end and the looping capabilities. That's but everything else is really. I mean,
well,
you kind of nailed the world I was kind of looking for, especially with the way that the harp kind of carries everything. And the swell strings that kind of like without the swell strings, this track wouldn't work for the background. Like if you muted those swell strings and then just
interesting.
play the track, it would not work as background music.
Well, I think the easiest thing for me to do right now is to kind of revert back through memory because I think I can just nix this and um this part basically repeats except the Glocken comes in and the high strings drop out. So and then it loops fairly cleanly.
I would to be honest, one of the so the harp, the brass, if that came in, uh so okay, okay, so basically the low strings, the brass, the boom, the high strings, and the swell strings all play on its own for 13 measures or 14 measure, whatever that is. And then the harp comes in, and then it plays its thing with it, right?
Okay, so
And
a much longer loop
a
track.
lot longer loop,
Yeah.
but the beginning almost doesn't even, you don't even know how it starts, that it just comes out of nowhere, and then the end kind of just like fades away out of nowhere, and then it comes back, so that when you actually loop the thing, it's a breeze. There's no it's just silence at the end of the loop. You don't even have to worry about the little pops and stuff. It's just because it's going to be silence in the beginning and silence at the end.
So, idea. This might be a good opportunity to test me sending you this track file,
Sure,
and then
yeah,
you can
yeah,
arrange it however you like. And
great idea.
yeah,
That was in my head. I was like, I could just so what instruments are on here that I don't have, just so I know. um
sure. You have a much bigger instrument selection than I do, though, so I think you can replace with appropriate ones. But yeah, unfortunately, this is Inspire 2
you
augmented strings, which you
Okay,
don't have.
this is a good thing real quick. If you can just highlight uh low strings and then right click on the MIDI, or yeah, I think, and then just go bounce and join, scroll down to bounce and join, I think, and then bounce in place.
Do
Yes,
it.
just click it. Yep. And you can just name that whatever you want, and then mute that. Yep, perfect. Okay. And so now I can use these strings. I can just, I mean, it's just going to be an audio file now.
Well, the problem with that though is that you're going to be rearranging stuff. So
True, true.
I think it might be a pain for you to try to cut up the audio file and like the transitions between clips won't be very good and etc.
Potentially. But
But
I
wait,
got some
don't
tricks up my sleeve.
you have arc though? You could just replace these with arc strings, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to just completely change the timbre, I could do that, and we just have it as is and not bounce anything and no audio. I could
We could try.
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
could try. We could
That'll make it
try.
easier, I guess. That'll make it easier, I guess.
Well, no, well, it depends. Like, I
I-
would think from your perspective, it would be a lot easier to reselect instruments rather than deal with the audio files. But if you want, we can try rendering down all the audio files and do it that way.
I-
But
so
they'll
yeah,
all be audio practically, though. This entire track's
actually,
made using Inspire.
yeah, I'm wrong. You're 100% right. I would control Z that real quick and just as is, and then I'll just, go ham on changing things out if need be, or if I don't have something, or if something is that much better in the track. All I need is if you could just export it so I can hear what it's supposed to sound like and stuff, and
Sure.
that's kind of where and
Yeah,
then
this is going to be interesting though because I think the only instrument that you're going to load is boom. Because it's arc light or whatever. What's it called? Jeez, my favorite.
Ash
Oh no, it's Sequus.
Sequus.
My bad.
Whoa, that's Sequus.
Yeah,
That's a really deep boom for Sequus. What the hell? I didn't
yeah.
think
It's
Sequus.
I edited the heck out of it. So
Gotcha. Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
max velocity. Huh?
yeah. Um. So yeah. But every single other instrument is Inspire 2, except for the bass, which is augmented strings. So you're gonna have your work cut out for you, unfortunately.
So honestly, I mean, I could see this is great starting point for anything to what I'm thinking in my head though, because what honestly, I don't think it's going to be that hard to do what I'm thinking is just to extend it, have no beginning, have no end. Kind of sounds weird, but I
Yeah, yeah,
think
no.
it's totally possible. And
Cool. Yeah,
then I
let's do
can
it.
also add some of what I'm going to have in there, which is
Yes.
birds,
Yes.
nature shit.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds great, man.
the whole thing. Love it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
me too.
So should we
Oh,
jump into an episode of Composer Dome, or should we take a intermission? Should we
I'm
anything
good
we
to go. I'm good to go straight in.
Okay, let's just jump right in here. Let's bring up the Oracle.
Yes, sir. Actually, wait, don't stop share, but let's close this. All right, so I will send you that logic track file and an MP3 rendition of it as it
Cool.
stands right now. Cool. All right. Awesome. Are you ready to communicate with the Oracle?
Let's go.
Boom.
Okay. Romance. Me. Open
Yep.
up Pexels, baby. Let's go. I'm about to share. Bam.
That's a new one. We have not had romance yet.
Oh, one more thing. What we should do right now is just make sure our things are templated up.
Okay. Composer Dome template, buddy. And we're switching the audio driver. We're not crashing the system, hopefully.
So kind of nervous typing romance while I'm streaming.
Uh-oh.
Uh
Hey, this is a PG rated
oh,
show.
here we go. Here we go. What are we doing here? Okay, so I'm picking here. So, man, yeah, gotta remember I'm streaming here.
Exactly.
About to say,
It looks mostly G rated, so I think we're safe. Picnicking couple, lots of them.
lots of that.
That's kind of cool. How long is it?
Yeah, it's probably the closest. 41 seconds.
Kind of long, but I think it's
41.
work.
We could do it if I mean, yeah, I mean, 41 seconds. I'm down. I'm down. Throw it on.
Okay.
Throw it in. All right, let's do
Okay.
it. Send the link.
Gonna keep our PG rating.
Yes, sir. We don't
All
want
right, that.
anything too frisky. We're not on kick.com. We're streaming on Twitch, man.
All right, download and save video as. Sure. Okay.
Got my timer set up and all that.
Okay, and then we get the movie into Logic, correct?
Movie into Logic. Uh, and let's see here. Google timer. There it is. Google timer. 10 minutes. Put that on my other screen. And that
10
ready
minutes.
for mute.
Okay.
41 seconds of thunder inbound. That's funny.
Okay, man.
So
Am
so
I?
so romance. Okay. All right.
Jeez. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Okay. All right, man. I'm ready to go.
Yep. Let's I'm going to mute and we're gonna begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. I am being yelled at. Let me stop this
Pen
timer.
pencils down, everyone.
Let me X this timer out. Well, that was a hilarious little romance track there.
Man, I hate mine so much. I mean, like, as a piece of music, I hate mine. I'll put it that way. Like,
you know, I'm not terrible. I don't hate mine. I don't hate it,
good,
you know, but
good.
I don't love it. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you're supposed to love it. It's romance, man.
That's true. That is true. You know, okay, so let's one of us share and go over the video. And oh, you know what? The Oracle should also be telling us who goes first, man.
Maybe it's who chooses, or maybe it's who chooses.
I guess
Who chooses
I
goes
think that's what we
first.
did last time, wasn't
That
it?
makes sense
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, if you
Okay.
choose, then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, let me switch. Before I share, I'm gonna switch over the audio so that we don't freak out. Logic. Hands are off. I'm not trying to add things. I got the beach ball, but come on.
Actually, you reminded me. Let me do that too.
Okay. Share. Okay. Oh, this fucking thing. Man, the last thing that I was working on here, so I am going to figure out this problem, whether it's something in logic or it's complete or something's going on where um
Oh wow, man, you laid a lot.
yeah, I was it's 41 seconds, man. Like there's a lot to be like it's hard to not it's hard to progress through a 41-second thing with not a lot of MIDI, or like it, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I had to
We
put a
took completely different approaches. It's kind of interesting, but anyway, go for it.
that's hilarious. Okay, so I put the okay, so when I was playing with this instrument here, which is so this is the instrument that I'm always when you say flantando or whatever,
Hmm.
this is the instrument that comes to my mind when I hear that word. I'll just do a very soft, you can barely hear it, right? And that
Yeah.
and I'm not going to touch anything on the track, but this is actually at 24, so this will be inaudible. But it's at 24 now, so I'm going to put it back to 24. But just so you can hear it for now, I'll turn it up so you can actually hear the instrument.
So I don't
So I'll
know.
put it
Maybe
back down to
we should look
24.
up flotando because that sounds like a marcato
So this says
technique.
harmonic. It says harmonic.
Yeah.
Um, and there's
Mar-
marcato, pizzicato, trills, measured, tremolo, sustain, and staccato, and then harmonic. Whatever that harmonic thing is I'd like to know another word for it, or maybe it is actually just called harmonic. Could that?
yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm
Yeah,
back
I
down
don't.
to 24.
Unfortunately, I don't play bowed strings. I mean, a harmonic on a guitar would sound totally different. So I don't even know how they produce that sound. But
Yep. I did not have time to master it. Uh,
oh yeah, I never
what
do.
I use though, handy dandy Helix from Orchestral Tools, the free string library.
Okay. Yep. It's good. That's
And I
good
think
strings.
these free strings are. It doesn't have as much dynamic, cool sound to it as Untold strings. Untold just it's more fun to play with. I love that, but
Mm.
I don't want to use Untold strings every single time
I
that
used
we
untold strings.
because I've been, you're like, oh, let me guess, Untold strings. So I'm like, nah, man, we're switching up. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Let's
Let's
pull
hear
up
it. Let's hear it.
the. This is what I imagined here. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so first of all, I will say to get a composition like that down in 10 minutes is very impressive. So hats off to you, sir. It's like one of them died and they're remembering better times. Like it's way too sad in my opinion. Like
Interesting. Interesting. So
it
that's
doesn't match
interesting.
it doesn't match the immediate vibe in my opinion of
Interesting. So I hear that and I hear uh like a profound love for one another, not a sappy romance something, but like
see
a
I
true
went
love.
I made it sound like a Hallmark movie, like
Ah,
I went
gotcha,
totally in the
gotcha.
opposite direction. So it is really interesting.
Yeah, well, so I mean, yeah, I definitely could have went sappy, but like if I really looked at this, like uh going through the forest in the wintertime,
There's there's a
with
lot of
your loved one
melancholy
is
in
one of the
yours though.
but it's one of the best things to do on the planet, to go into the woods when it's snowy, like with your significant other and your dog. There's literally not much better things that I could do with my time in the wintertime than do that. And so like to be able to just have that happen, I don't find it like sappy or like romantic kind of. I see it and I think of like this is like almost like hey, you guys are lucky, you you bastards, keep it going. Like a kind of like a tribute to the moment. I don't know.
If
That's what I.
if if I heard this track and with no other context whatsoever, the
Yeah.
movie image that would conjure in my head would be uh you know let's see what Jack died, but you know what Jack would have wanted us to do? To keep going and to fight and to beat him. Let's do it for Jack, man. Like,
Hilarious. That's awesome.
like it because it's got a heroic but very melancholy, but yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
It's
to
very
me,
major though. It's not like to me. It's not heroic. To
well,
me,
the first chord is minor. But
E
yeah,
minor, yeah,
yeah,
to C,
C major, yeah,
G, D sustain, back into
D, yeah,
D,
yeah.
and then we go. Oh,
But you would end probably on an E minor. I mean, you could your last chord, so it's in the key of E minor. I'll put
yeah,
it
I
that
could
way.
go back to my yeah. I could. Well, yeah, I could go back to my root. Yeah.
Or you could end on G major because that's relative.
Yep. Yep.
You could, but yeah, it's it.
So I think maybe this part here, maybe if it's soloed here like this. Oh, you know what? One thing I want to try is just to see if the sound is how different this sounds is instead of being such a low register. I just did the thing, yeah. I did it again. I'll never stop. I ain't never gonna stop moving it. I'm gonna drag it every day.
I hear that and
That's it.
somebody died. That's, that's
Maybe
all.
it's you, man. Maybe it's you that's dark and twisted, man. I don't know.
Was
I don't see that as death. I think that's very like
no, but it seems like
love or
it
like
to me. It seems like a at best a memory, but mostly it's got a heroic sound to it, like a.
wow. Yeah, we totally have different opinions on
I
how it
know.
sounds.
I wish we had spectators who could chime in because that would be really interesting to hear other people's.
Maybe we
Um,
can yeah, I mean we oh, maybe ChatGPT, maybe ChatGPT can tell us. Holy crap, imagine if
can it listen to music?
no, but what it can do,
Right.
we could send screenshots of our MIDI and then say, "Hey, which one is better fits this image?" And then we
It
send
could.
it a screenshot of the movie.
You want to
I'm,
try it?
we could, man. I've done things like that before. And on, I don't know if you've ever been on huggingface.com or
No.
huggingface.ai, but you can give it pictures and it will give you an entire story, or you can
Oh, right.
upload a track and it will give you
But
an entire synopsis of the track.
will it be able to interpret seeing MIDI on a screen though, as anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
we should try it
We
today.
could
We
do
should
it.
try it.
Yeah, 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 for sure. All right, you want to jump into yours?
Yeah, mine's gonna seem pathetic though, because like it's yeah, it's interesting. This is a really interesting one.
I'm just trying to find my stop share. There it
Yeah.
is.
I hate mine. It sucks.
I am ready for
All right.
this.
Can you hear that?
Whoa, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Okay.
So I hear the chords you chose for the vibe, and man, is it really what is it, D
D A
minor?
G D major.
Or no, but that D is like help, help. That's a higher register though than what it was. All right, I think you're playing a little. Yeah, that's what the track is.
Oh, whoops. A major, G major. Yeah.
I hear so when I hear those chords, I
Yeah.
hear like power chords, 80 band or 80s rock band,
Yeah, it's got like a
Poison.
Brian Adams sound to it almost. Like, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that, well, that's what I'm saying. So that
Yeah.
thing, that feeling when that chord is played,
Yeah.
um, if you could take that chord and then
Mhm.
just, I mean, that's why I was laughing when I was hearing the track, because that's the chord that you're trying to like, that's the feeling that you're trying to go for, and everything else is just like, all right, we're going back to the feeling. The feeling is that thing.
Oh, I see. I see. You mean do it like you mean do it like that? Like play chords
No,
or
no. What
I
I
guess I don't
meant,
understand what you're saying.
yeah, sorry, I'm doing a horrible job explaining it. So essentially, what I'm saying is when you do hit that one chord, that Brian Adams chord, whatever it is, what is it? It's
D major.
yeah, yeah. So um everything around that is kind of just trying to get back to that, always like you're doing something, like it's doing something, but just to get back to that, but trying hard not to do anything too minor, you know what I mean,
Well,
between that.
it's actually
And
funny.
that's why I was laughing,
It's
because
actually funny that you mentioned that though, because I did do the D major progression twice, and then I tried to go to a
nope,
to B
instant
minor, and
instant terminator.
I just got out of it. Yeah, I just threw it away. But the one thing I was trying to do is I was trying to layer a uh mallet flux under it, and I just couldn't get it to work. But
Sneaky.
that is what I was trying to do.
Yeah, for
So
the snowflakes, the mallet
yeah,
flux would have been that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the video. I go, oh, mallet flux for the snowflakes. And then I just never added it. I just didn't have time, or.
yeah. Well, the problem that I reached is that mallet flux has like 500 presets, so like I couldn't. I didn't have time to cycle through them to find one that I actually liked.
I typically always find that the 5/8 ones sound the best somehow in the 4-4 stuff that we do. I like it, they just really vibe very well, and I don't know why, because
Five
it's a
eighths. Okay.
yeah, I don't know why. It's still in a 4-4, but it says 5-8, and it sounds like the way that the chords transition or the note transitions, it sounds somehow way cleaner. I think it's the first um, note is off a little bit so that it kind of flows better into the next thing.
Well, the problem too is that a lot of them have a marimba, so it's a really low, and I wanted the tinkly like high ones, and
Yeah, yeah.
so I was cycling through, and then I noticed I had like 20 seconds left, and there's no way I was gonna stick the landing. So,
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
all right, I
Yep.
sent you a screenshot, sir. We can try
Oh,
that
okay.
crazy idea of yours.
Okay, let me pull up my GPT first. Let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta share. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I will take a screenshot of this here and go over here and say, oh, so used to PC. Um,
What? I thought you're the biggest Mac fan I know.
yeah, but I've been using PC way more than Mac recently. On PC, you just control Command Shift 3 or whatever, and it automatically saves it to your clipboard. So this saves it to your desktop, and you have to actually
Ah, yeah.
not a big deal. Okay, so then this,
Are you
this.
just gonna get the shot of your main theme?
I'm gonna yeah, exactly that. The main theme.
Chord progression. Yeah.
Yep. So like just like maybe a little bit more so it knows that it goes back into itself. And then I'm just gonna do one of these, shift 3 for the whole screen. Drag that guy in there. Oh, did it not? Oh no, it didn't. Okay,
Who
so
who nailed it? ChatGPT. Tell us.
um, oh wait, can you? Oh, you sent me your pictures too on Telegram.
Yeah. Or just the one.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is great.
This is crazy.
Okay, we were
Do we do we
proposing
want
to.
to do we want to tell it what the genre is?
Sure, yeah, yeah. Is romance, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how is it gonna know what?
Which MIDI
So
picture best captures the genre? Or
yeah, but how is it gonna say image 1 or 2? How's it gonna? How are we gonna know which one? That's uh the. I'll just do this. The screen
the
shot
one in D
of the
major versus E minor? You could do it that way. It'll know the key, right?
should yeah. Okay, that works. Come on, ChatGPT, hook it up. Hook it up.
It's gonna say, I have no idea.
It's gonna say, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
Ha! Yeah!
Well, damn, look at that. Okay, how about this?
I win.
Well, emotional climax or deep connection. I mean, okay, how about okay, I'll do this. Which one is better for romance for a romance movie? Seems I'm unable to analyze MIDI data directly due to a missing package in my environment.
Softer, more intimate atmosphere.
Interesting. You can import MIDI files and identify the key by. Oh no, it's saying that you can use DAWs to do that. There you go. Double down, you win.
Well, I wish we had real humans to chime in, but it is kind of it's
Okay,
a very interesting
how,
experiment though.
how about this though? For romance, what are the most commonly used chords? So interesting. Here we go.
D major wasn't chosen. I guess I chose D major just because I'm relatively comfortable with it on the keyboard, but
Yeah, it's saying a lot of
that's kind of all over the map, honestly.
well, it's definitely C centric kind of. Yeah, it's has a lot of C going on, but for
I don't really think seventh chords. It depends. It
geez.
might be I might be thinking you mean for romance, which one of the comedies chords. Yeah, it's weird to choose seventh chords or to call out seventh chords in
Are you
particular.
saying that our overlord is wrong?
No, of course not. I'll never
Okay,
do that.
I didn't think so. Yeah, yeah. Get back to work. Oh, look at this. Common aggressions in romantic music.
C F G C.
CFGC. Hmm, interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm just going down the rabbit hole of ChatGPT now. Should we do another one or are you is that was you good or I'm down for anything? Down for anything.
Yeah, yeah, man. I guess we could do another one. I got time.
All right, bust up in the Oracle. I'm just gonna pour a little bit more coffee over here.
You got it.
The Oracle has arrived.
All right, so I'm gonna take your share.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No worries, man. Drum roll. Boom.
It's ChatGPT before I make this. What I should use?
Mystery. The selector is yours truly.
Mystery, eh?
Hey.
Oh yeah, we gotta. While you're doing that, I'm gonna switch over my audio.
Oh, yeah.
Miss. Oh wait, it was mystery.
Yeah.
Okay, mystery,
S-
mystery.
Okay, so we need videos. Mystery. Ooh, that's kind of cool.
You're in charge. just gonna also start a new.
This guy's just creeping.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think let's not go down the rabbit hole too much. How long's this? 22 seconds.
You and the guys walking.
No, I think it's the same dude because I'm pretty sure this is the video we used before.
Oh, it's the same publisher.
Yeah, it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure. So it's very similar. What's this? That's cool. I wish you were a logger. I would use that. That's kind of interesting. Looks like Petra in Jordan. Also 8 seconds.
Something like dark or like obviously dark, but something like big. I was thinking maybe potentially, or oh yeah, something, mysterious is kind of hard to convey, but and many things can do it.
Well, that's a weird video.
That's more like, is that a naked lady?
This magician here. 52 seconds. Man, that's long. Okay, what's this? Short.
Yeah.
20 seconds. Oh, this one's tough.
What that black dude in the green?
It's weird. That is a weird video.
Okay, maybe not.
That is okay. This is kind of cool.
Mm,
Dang it. It's only 8 seconds.
damn. Yeah, it needs to be at least 15, I'd say.
Yeah, it's
At
too
least
bad because
I
that
mean,
would be perfect.
5 seconds.
Actually, let's do like the word mist. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll give us better results.
Mysterious, maybe. Or yeah. Wait,
Yeah, this is way better.
but it
Tw-
still should be in the vein of
Here we go.
mysterious.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
30 seconds, pretty long, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you want to do shorter?
It's pretty long for just to swing the whole entire time, but if you
Yeah.
want to just take that video and then just compose, yeah, the twisting around the rules, being sneaky, can't do that.
9 seconds. Dang, this is tough. Um,
What about that
okay.
female? Yeah.
Yeah. 24. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You want to send that link?
Okay. To send that to you. Cool. Stop share.
Oh shit, I still gotta switch over this thing.
Oh man, it is getting stormy here.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
We have clear
It's
skies
fun.
here.
It's funny when we started it was sunny, but now it's really darkened.
Oh, we're getting into the mysterious stuff, you know?
Exactly.
Downloads. You into there? Boom. Boom. So timer. Timer. Do you use
Oh.
Google for the timer?
I use the Apple clock app.
Ah, gotcha. Bam. Okay,
All
so
right, sir.
is your audio switched over?
Yeah,
Okay. Uh, you're all
good to
set?
go.
Everything ready?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. 5, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Ding, dingling, ding. Okay. Let me X this thing out so it stops freaking me out.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'd stopped working. Don't worry. I was just trying to figure out how to get Zoom back.
Man, it the reflection or whatever the thing's going on in the trees look cool as hell in the background.
Oh
The
man, it is like crazy
it
storming
almost
right
looks
now.
like it's like in the room almost like the trees. It's weird optical illusion.
Yeah, it's a yeah, there's a serious like hurricane or something going on right now. It's nuts. So if I lose power, if I like disappear, that's what happened. But as you could see, this room got super dark.
I'll be getting it soon probably or
Yeah, you're
in
right.
a few hours.
All right, yeah,
Um
let's go before I lose electricity.
yeah, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. At the very last moment, an instrument stopped making sound, and I have no idea why.
Modulation issues probably.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, it's really frustrating.
I had the same exact thing yeah, happen to me.
Oh,
Manually adjust the modulation.
I didn't have time. Unfortunately, it happened like at the very end, so just have to go without. For some reason, instrument four is just not going anymore. My bad. I need to switch that
Yeah, I
over.
gotta switch that too. Be ready.
Oh, switching the audio driver did it. That's cool. All
Here
right,
we go.
that instrument's back. All right, here we go. And it's gone.
What? Oh, it is.
Hold on. What the heck? All right,
You may
all right.
not have it.
I'm just gonna play it. Yep. All right, here we go. This is it. This is the final.
Okay. All right. The low
So
end is what is well, so it's it's like it's more like almost sci-fi though, kind
yeah, and
of.
that
So
I didn't want to go horror because this is mystery specifically.
mystery, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
mythical mystery, like mysterious. I
yeah,
guess not mythical, but
let's see. Why is this sound?
okay. So if you go ahead and hit the that little automation lane button, little bone button, the other one, and then hit where it says volume, that drop down, and then click modulation. I bet that's stuck at 0. Yep. So just click somewhere in the middle of the track, and then yeah.
That's what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, for like the brush in the
Yeah,
forest. Yeah.
but and it sounded fine. But then one time I just played it back and it was gone. I was like, what happened? So anyway, cool. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, again, my only note really is like I was very specifically not making it a horror soundtrack.
Trying not to go
So
horror. Yeah,
yeah,
so the coolest, I think the best part that stood out to me was the on the piano, or I think that's a piano, right? Or something like a piano.
this thing.
Yeah, that's a piano, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So is that matches her in the video good. The rest of the rest of the instruments kind of sci-fi-ish, but that right there seemed to, at least visually in the video, like while she's walking through, it matched her really well. Um,
cool.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm ambivalent about it. Yeah, instrument choice could have been better, but I actually thought the flute sounds were kind of cool.
Yeah, the flute does sound cool.
That just sounds, yeah, I just like the way that sounds, and it seems to work in this forest kind of setting. So,
Yeah, flute's definitely mysterious all day. All right,
how about you?
let's jump up in here. Bam. Okay. So yeah, I had to do
Uh,
that modulation trick too, and then I was like, hey, fuck it, might as well start playing around and get a little bit of dynamic going on. So here's the video. So this is basically just you know, four chords, but I think that's
just layered,
as
yeah,
mysterious as possible. Uh yeah,
because
but
it's the
different
same chords,
octaves. Different
octaves. Yeah,
octaves.
okay.
And obviously instruments. Yeah, so it's just basically four
Yeah,
chords, you know.
yeah,
Try to
I
go
like
as
it.
mysterious
Yours
sounding.
was
Trying.
more, yours was more mysterious, ominous. I feel like there's a threat of some kind, you know.
Thread. Yeah, I mean, I think of I think those chords when I hear those chords, I think of like
Alien, like a kind of has an alien vibe to it to me.
yeah, like an otherworldly planet,
Yeah,
like a cave or something that could have danger in it, but it looks like interesting and mysterious. Like it does have a abode of danger in there somewhere. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
but it's yeah, it does. I guess mysterious kind of does skirt the lines of sci-fi, which kind of makes sense now that you're trying. You know, like it's a
yeah.
lot of mysterious stuff is kind of sci-fi. And but when I see this video, like when I see this lady walking through, I imagine, even though she's wearing a modern shirt, I imagine her to be more like a Viking going through the forest of a type of
Interesting.
thing. But I didn't go Viking at all. Like
Yeah,
none of no key of Viking stuff. But
yeah, yeah. It does look like it was filmed somewhere in maybe Scandinavia with all the pines and everything. So yeah, that makes sense.
we got a giant one of the. What kind of trees are those? I mean, the big one in
They're
the
they're
back.
they're evergreens of some kind.
Ever, yeah, they have these giant pine needles, and we have one right down the street. It's a giant one, and it's just such an awkward, crazy looking tree. Uh, Definitely mystical, but yeah, man. I mean, I mean, we could do the ChatGPT thing real quick and see
No,
what it
because
thinks.
mine doesn't really work for that. Because mine each each one's kind of doing a different thing. But I guess we could put the main themes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, we could try it, but that water looks pretty badass in the background. Looks like a little waterfall in your background. the the rain.
Yeah, we have a sloped roof and it's just pouring rain. So, yeah, it's just dumping.
Can you hear it
Yeah,
coming down on the roof?
not really. Like we
Oh,
could,
okay,
but
yeah.
the roof actually is double. It's there's a roof laying on there's a metal roof on top of the existing roof, so it's like doubled. But if it were just the metal roof, it would sound wonderful. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
also might leak a lot more than it does. So, but yeah, this window right here, as you can see, is huge. And so yeah, you could just sit here and watch the weather. It's really cool,
Hell
beautiful. I,
yeah.
I love this room.
Hell yeah. It's a good room
Um,
to drink a glass of wine, compose some music in with a night like this, man. You
I
know, it's
I
like
do it all the time, or just I sit up here and play guitar. So,
yeah, yeah. Ooh,
oh
nice
yeah,
lightning.
we got some lightning, man. I better cut it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let's
Whoa, did you hear that?
yeah, I saw the lightning in the background too. Let me stop sharing here. All right.
I would say you won the last one personally. Like man, the lights
I'll
are flickering, but
I'll take
yeah,
a 50-50 on that. All right,
yeah,
brother. Yeah, you make sure all your electricity is good and get your stuff together. We shall reconvene Saturday 2:30 for Composer Dome
that
episode 6.
that is the time and the place. Be
Be
there.
there or be square.
Exactly. Into
Have a
the
good
future, sir.
day. To the future.